You're now into the top 100 tennis players in the world.
It feels a little bit weird because my ranking, 99, doesn't reflect what I've played this year. Dustin Brown was playing and I love playing against him or with him. And I think he would not deny this right now. When I play him, there's a lot of times where I have some better shots than him. But it's just not seen.
Welcome back, guys and girls. Here we are. It's another episode, finally, of the Game to Love podcast. And, well, sorry for leaving you in the lurch a little bit, but we have had some very special things planned, haven't we, JG?
Yeah, we've got a lot planned. We've got a few players, a few journalists. I'm not going to say any names yet, but there's a lot planned on the Game to Love podcast in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we may as well get into it. We've got him waiting in the wings. It is German sensation who has just broken into the top 100 of the ATP rankings in 2020. It's none other than Yannick Hanfmann.
Hey,
Yannick, great to have you on.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me. Wow, sensational. Yep. What an intro. Hope I can live up to it, you know.
Well, how are you, mate? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm currently in Munich, starting my off-season preparation, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's winter, it's dark early, and but it's okay, you know, getting training done, so I'm feeling good.
So, from the last time you was playing tennis in the off-season, do you have like a few weeks off where you just do completely nothing? Or are you always sort of doing a bit of training behind the scenes, a bit of light hitting, some exercise here and there?
Exercise, yeah, I would say so, of course. But tennis, I actually like to just leave it behind a little bit. Well, the last tournament I played was in Paris, and I actually retired, and I have some issues with my foot, and I still have them. So we're still kind of balancing that. So therefore, I mean, after Paris was done and I had a few weeks, I actually couldn't play tennis anyways. But yeah, so I'm trying to get my rehab going and playing a little bit of tennis, but it's a bit challenging. I'm a little bit lucky that the Australian Open gets pushed back a little bit, so I have some more time to prepare. Because usually, like as a tennis player, when you have that much time to prepare for things, it's not that common. So I quite like it. I quite like to make a plan like that where we have a little bit more time than usual. And so it's a little bit of a bummer that my foot's holding me back, but yeah, it's okay. You know, you got to deal with it.
What sort of problem did you actually have? Because you were playing Del Bonis, wasn't it, in that Paris qualification? What sort of pain were you having with the foot?
Yeah, so initially we thought there was something going on with my tendon down there. The doctors there actually diagnosed it, and then it didn't get better. So it's actually something on the bone, which I hope to be healed in a few weeks. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but you know, it was a long season. I played a lot of matches, which was a good season for me, but maybe there was a little bit of payback there.
Mate, good. I think you're being too humble. You had a brilliant season. You're one of the big names in 2020 for us. We watched a lot of your matches, and we're going to go through them all, starting from the beginning. Not all of them, but just some of the highlights. And we'll do that in a minute, maybe. Do you want to speak about anything else at the moment, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit crazy year, hasn't it? I mean, like you were saying, you've got this injury, and it's come at the sort of the price of you playing so much tennis, but playing at your highest level you've played in your career so far, and getting you up to the highest ranking that you've had. And do you think that this is running sort of a parallel? You're pushing yourself, you're pushing your body a bit harder, and that's when the injuries may occur?
Yeah, I think I had to listen to myself a little bit better in the end, because I mean, obviously I played a lot of tournaments. It was back to back, a lot of stuff. I played a lot of matches, which is always a good thing because then it means you're doing well. And then the situation came that, I have a chance to be in Paris in the Masters. And I mean, I haven't played many Masters in my life, so I was obviously eager to do it. But I think it was Kazakhstan was the first time where I felt like, like maybe we're pushing it a little bit. I was feeling a little bit mentally fatigued. And then, of course, Paris, I got in. I was actually seated in the end in the qualies. And I was like, okay, hey, let's do it. Let's go. And we went. And in the last practice before my first match, there was something in my back. And I already felt like it's like a little bit drained maybe mentally. And then one thing led to another. Second round of qualies, it kind of hits me like that. And obviously that's unlucky, unfortunate, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, like these little things, you have to be careful with your body. And in that case, I was maybe not listening closely enough. But yeah, in the end, I could have gone away with it too, but I didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because it's one question which only you would probably be able to answer, and a small collect of people in the world. You're now into the top 100 tennis players in the world. Out of all of these billions of people in the world, you're now one of the top 100 people who play tennis in the men's game. What does that feel like to be in that top 100?
Oh man, I don't sound like a downer or something, but like I feel like for me it's kind of come natural a little bit, because I felt like this year I was definitely in that category. I just couldn't really push in before a few months ago, whenever it was. And so it's kind of a nice feeling, because a lot of things that I thought, actually the first time I pushed in the top 100 was for 1 week in 2018. I think 18, yeah. I was 99 for 1 week.
Okay.
And so ever since then it was kind of like the chase to get back there, and I finally made it. And it feels a little bit weird, because this year, like, my ranking 99 doesn't reflect what I've played this year. So that's a little bit of a bummer of it. But in the end, I'm very happy I'm a top 100 player. This has been like the goal of every season. Hey, we want to get in there. We want to prepare for Melbourne main draw. That's a nice thing. Like, that's a gratifying thing to prepare for something in the off season. And yeah, so it's not like it's not like a big thing for me, but it's just, yeah, it's kind of like a natural way of my development, I think.
Nice to end the year though, surely, just to now you've got like this month or 6 weeks off, and now you just can sit there. You're in the top 100. Nothing can change for this.
I can chill.
Get rid of the free numbers.
Exactly. No, it's fantastic. I mean,
what I wanted to ask you actually, was
obviously
2020 has not been a great year. It's been a lot of bad things happening and stuff, and playing tennis and then having the break and then coming back to it again. It's been very tricky for a lot of players on tour. Like, there's some really top players like Goffin, maybe Monfils. I know he's had a few injuries and stuff. For you, you've done very well. So you've seemed to thrive in these type of situation where you've played a lot of exhibition tennis, and it's prepared you a lot for the season. For you personally, what was your key to making the best of this year and playing so well?
I think there's a few answers. I think for sure it's matches. I played a lot, as you said, I played a lot of exhibition matches. So I had the platform, the opportunity to play early on. And I think I'm a player that, with a little bit of time that we had in the Corona, like in the break, we had a really good time just practicing. Like, had a good plan set out for a couple of months, and I was not really getting crazy about like, oh, this tournament is canceled. Oh, we're going to be canceled until then. I was just like, hey, I'll find other things that are interesting next to my practice. And so actually, yes, the situation in the world was not great, and for me personally, it was nice though to get away from like the day-to-day tennis thing, the traveling, the tight schedule. So I think I took a lot of strength from that. I spent a lot of time with my family. I had way more time with my girlfriend. So there's a few keys in there that maybe made me a little bit, I don't know, like enjoyed a little bit more once it came back, right? Once it came back, first tournament I played, I won. And it was maybe a little bit of that, that feeling that got me there, like, hey, now I'm playing, I'm doing my job again, but but I had that time before that kind of like gained me some perspective on things. And yeah, I'm just really happy at how it turned out, because I felt like during the practice times in those few months, I felt like my level was really like, it was elevating. I felt very comfortable with things that I maybe wasn't so good at. I definitely improved my net game, my serve. So there's a few things where I thought, hey, I'm really stepping up in a few ways. And then yeah, but that's one thing, right? Another thing is to have it translate to the court like that and to matches, and that's what happened. And yeah, Todi, the challenger, and Kitzbuhel. So yeah, it was a natural progress throughout the clay court season then, and yeah, I'm really happy how it turned out.
You mentioned your serve there. Did you say you actually improved it in 2020? Because it's always been a bit of a weapon. For me, your serve's always been brilliant. So do you feel like in 2020 it got even better?
I definitely think so, because I get away with my kick serve a lot. If you watch me, then you know on clay court I use a lot of my kick serve, and which is nice on clay, but it hurts you on hard court a little bit, because when you rely too much on that serve, you stop serving the first serve, the hard one. And we've been trying to get that one more consistent, more powerful, because I need that on hard court, right? I'm not playing on clay all the time, even though that's mostly what I do.
Wait, that's why I've got the clay. I put the clay in the background because I know we've got Hanfmann here.
I mean,
You've got to have the clay.
You got the clay, which I love. You got the grass, which I love absolutely, which I missed so dearly this year, actually. So two of my favorite surfaces. Yeah, so I definitely want that hard serve a little bit more, and that's what we've been working on. And I think that was one of the keys of this year as well. Definitely.
All right. So I mean, it was just to touch on. I don't know we were gonna jump around in 2020, but I know that you were speaking about. Was it which one was it? The Kitzbuhel one, or was it the?
Well, Todi was the challenger. Todi was the first one that started that I won, and then a couple weeks after I qualified in Kitzbuhel and played finals.
It was the match I was watching earlier again today, just the Laszlo Djere match, which was quite an epic match. That one, so back and forth, and I think it was just one of those matches. You look like one person's going to win, then the next person's coming back. Then it looked like that you were going to win, then he was coming back, and some amazing shots. But one thing that I thought was really great about that match was your drop shots in that match were just so good. And you were just getting him to come to the net all the time, and you were just firing volleys away. Like, really great tactics, strategy. Was that something that you've looked to improve as well?
Yeah, I love playing drop shots. I mean, it's it's like one of my favorite things to do on clay is get that kick serve jumping, and then the guy is in a defensive stance. I would say I have my forehand inside the court. I can decide to push it down the line or go inside out and come in, or play the drop shot where he gets maybe caught off guard a little bit. And with him in that match, I mean, it was tricky because he's very fast. But also, as you said, he's not that comfortable going to the net. So it's one thing to play a drop shot where he maybe just gets there, but then has to play a volley. So it was definitely a strategy to get him to move in a little bit sometimes, because he's very comfortable just running side to side. So yeah, in that match, I mean, if you watched it, what do you think of that game that I served out at 40-15 or whatever? I mean, what do you think? When you saw that game, if you remember it, like, what do you think of it? Because I think of it a few times.
I mean, I thought it looked like it was a very, very nervy service game, and I was feeling it. I was just trying to serve it out, but it was just, I don't know. It was just, I could see something going through your mind whilst you're like trying to serve it out as well. It looked like a really tough game, but I think you just showed like a lot of grit and determination. I don't know. There was just something that just helped you get it over the line. Do you remember what you were thinking in that last game? Just to try
as well. I feel like it's the story of your 2020. You showed a lot of determination at a lot of moments this year, and that was the key to sort of reaching that next level. Whereas maybe other seasons you maybe would have lost some of the matches you won.
I'm not sure what it was, but I think this year, or this short year, was just a little bit more confidence in my abilities in those moments where I was gonna go for my shots, and if they're not working, then at least you went for it. I tried to take it more than let the other give it to me. So there was a few matches last year towards the end of the year in South America where I had some really painful losses, and all of those, or most of those losses were because I didn't end up taking it, because I'm a player with my game style. I have to go for it. I can't really, I'm not like Medvedev or these guys that can also like stay back a little bit, rely on their movement, their counter punches. I'm not that good in it, I would say. And so I have to go get it. And this year, I think a lot of close situations, I went and took it and just take advantage of the big strokes that I have. Maybe that would explain it.
How did you manage to, like, because that was like the remarkable thing about that Laszlo Djere match was how did you manage to overcome like losing the 2 match points and then getting yourself back in the right headspace to actually go on and win the tiebreak in the end? I mean, that was the incredible thing about that. I thought it was such a back and forth match, but to come back and actually still get yourself back in, because we've seen players this season it hasn't happened in that way, and they've actually lost match points. And like we saw, Tsitsipas, he obviously had that famous loss this year to Borna Coric in the US Open, where you lose all those, and then the whole match sort of goes away from you. But you sort of like regain your composure, and then were able to serve it out in the tiebreak, which was really impressive.
I still know exactly how it felt, because it's very painful. They're in a semi-final of an ATP and you lose that game where you're on serve in altitude on clay, where I don't think I should lose a lot of service games. But in that game, I was rushing a lot and I was just trying to get to the net, go serve and volley, just, force it a little bit, because during the whole match, I actually did not feel comfortable on the baseline. So that's kind of funny. But so I remember I lost the game. I turned back and I said to myself, okay, hey, it's semifinals, it's 5-all in third. It's fine, like you get to the next point. And I'm not sure how that 5-all game went. I want to say that I had a chance in it, but I'm not sure.
Three break points in the next game as well you had.
Okay, there you go. So it was difficult, but in that moment, I think I was very methodical. I was very like point by point. I was trying to like, take the chances that I had and go for it. And in the end, in the tiebreak, I reminded myself of the semifinals that I played in Gstaad like 3 years ago, when I won against Robin Haase 7-6 in the third as well. So there's some of these memories can help you sometimes, like flashes of those, like give you hope and give you back some belief. And I also kind of was enjoying it, because I remember against Djere, it was a tricky match. I didn't feel comfortable against his game style, but I was my energy was very good, which in turn, on the next day against Kecmanovic in the final, I had a good feeling on the court, but my energy wasn't that strong. So in the end, energy is a little bit more important, I would say, sometimes, even though if you might not feel great. But that was a great match. I mean, in the end, like, let's be honest, I could have lost it already too. So
it was one of those.
Some matches go your way, some
he was having a lot of luck though, wasn't he? I don't know. Is it luck? Is it skill? Sometimes, but you were even coming to the net, and he seemed to. Some of them, he just got a racket on, and it flew past like round the side of the net, and managed to still clip a line on some of these shots. So I think on those days, you did well to. Any other player, he probably would have beaten, but you managed to.
It was certainly very close. But I've got a question for you, actually, and it's regarding, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've won 6 challenger titles. You've reached 2 finals of 2 ATP 250 finals. Unfortunately, losing both of them. But where does it rank for you with winning a challenger title compared to reaching an ATP 250 final? What for you? What's the greater achievement?
I mean, tough to say because they're all like so different, right? All these tournaments are so different. But for example, the Braunschweig Challenger title, I don't know how many it was, but that was the tournament that gave me top 100 for a week in the main draw. Main draw, I think that was the cut. That week was the cut for main draw in US Open. So that week was also very stressful because I thought about these things and I managed to keep calm, win that title. That was really special because it was at home. Gstaad being the first coming out kind of me, like getting to the finals, playing for Nini in an unbelievable atmosphere. Like the stadium is so cool. They had like a flight show, like some jet pilots. Like it was so nice. So Gstaad is really
Sounds
really cool. Yeah, Kitzbuhel is just a little bit different because there was not that many spectators. At least in this time, there were some spectators, but it was not like that final like, experience, right? As it usually would have been in an ATP. It's tough to compare all those. You know, I have them all in my memory, and sometimes I go through them. But Braunschweig was very special. Gstaad was special. Kitzbühel was a lot of fun during the week because I actually started out feeling really shitty in the first round of qualies. I remember I telling my coach, or we had a talk and we were like, hey, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to practice. I don't want to like it feels a little bit tough right now. And he just said, yeah, you know, maybe sometimes you have to see it as work too. And I remember like first round of quality, I saw it. Okay, this is my working day. I gotta get my job done, and at the end, let's hope when I clock out, it's a W. But yeah, so we kind of kept like some kind of momentum. We built it up a little bit in that week. So yeah, every week's different, and I have some fond memories of those tournaments.
And I must say, mate, we're talking about your job. I'm very jealous of it. I must admit, I'm only behind the screen talking about it, but I would love to be on court myself. I'm just not very good.
Yeah, I wanted to actually ask you. It was interesting. You brought up one of the tournaments I was going to bring up to you, which was the Braunschweig tournament. We've spoke to Yevgeny Donskoy, and he was saying this was his favorite tournament on the tour, and he said it's like. It's one of the like most vibrant atmospheres. They have live music there and stuff like this. Yeah. Everything's going on around this tournament.
It's a great atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, can you tell us any more about it? Because we actually want to try and, when everything goes back to normal, I think this is one we're going to target going to one of these tournaments to come and see some of the tennis there.
Yeah, you should definitely do it. I think it's voted best challenger a lot of times already.
Wow.
So the whole setup there is great. Let's start like the hotel is okay. It's a Steigenberger hotel. It's in a park, and you have to cross through the park to get to the tennis courts. So
yeah.
Every day, I mean, you can choose to go with the shuttle, but I don't think anyone does that. So you walk through the really nice park to the tennis courts. So that's a plus. Then tennis courts, the club is really nice. It has like a few courts. It's always good times with practice because there's enough courts. Every day, I think from Monday on until Sunday finals, there's a live event at night, and usually it's really good with spectators. So there's always like the crowd is really good, and I'm not sure about the music, because I think there's a lot of German music. I'm not sure if you guys would like that, but it's funny that Evgeny said that. But I think a lot of players like Braunschweig. The setup's great. The tournament's really good. Yeah, and I've won it, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Ben with a few beers, any music, you can put anything on, he'll love it.
I was going to say one of my friends is German. He's actually in a band as well, and he's from Hanover, but. He's been on tour to Braunschweig, and then they played a few gigs around there. So he said, yeah, it's a really good place, really nice town or city to just be playing music in. It's really vibrant. Everyone loves the music scene there. So,
a question for you about playing in Germany. Oh, sorry, you say what you're going to say. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a great blueprint for other tournaments. Like if you make those tournament weeks, if you make events out of those, like Braunschweig does. I think it would attract so many more people. I think it's just a great idea.
Well, it's something we've spoke about a lot on the podcast, haven't we, Ben? We feel like tennis certainly does need a kind of a little bit of a rebrand in terms of if they can sort of use that as a model and more tournaments follow suit. I think it will sort of appeal to a wider audience and in theory help tennis grow, allow you guys to get paid more and everyone to be happy, really.
Yeah, we want fans to be more involved and have a good time. I would love for a fan to like say, "Hey, I'm going to a tennis event, tennis tournament," and not just because of the tennis match, but because there's something else there. So, yeah, I hope that. I mean, look at the Grand Slams; they work because they're events, right? But all the other tournaments, I'm not sure. There's a few where maybe you're lacking some event type character and entertainment character.
Yeah.
And
what did you think of Cologne this year? That's why I wanted to ask you. We obviously had that live band that was playing in between the like the changeovers.
I wasn't there. I saw it on live stream. I thought it was interesting. I actually have not asked any of the players. Do you have any feedback on that?
No, there's no feedback.
Not from players, no.
I think the management from, I think it was Weindorfer, the Emotion Group, I think they're trying to do these things, and I know that they were very engaged in it. So it's a bummer because they were planning to go ahead with spectators, but then the measures got tightened up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if they lost a lot of money on that or not. I hope they did well because we need more tournaments, and certainly they tried.
Yeah, on the topic of tennis in Germany, what's it like playing in Germany for you? Do you find it's more pressure playing in front of there's probably more fans and maybe some family there as well? Does that add a lot of extra pressure on you?
Hey, if you check my activity over the years, you should know that answer.
Exactly, you know that he does well in Germany. And if you'd seen his exhibition stuff, you were playing obviously at home in Germany, all these exhibitions. I think you had a run of 14 matches of winning in these exhibitions, which was fantastic. No wonder you're on such hot form this year.
Yeah, I mean, to sum this question, I love to play in Germany. I love to play around home, and I think I've always done well. Even in German-speaking countries with Gstaad and Kitzbuhel, right? So I guess all of that is home for me. And the exhibitions they were fun. They were lighthearted. Dustin Brown was playing, and I loved playing against him or with him. I also did an exhibition with him in my hometown club in Karlsruhe, where I asked him to play with me, and we played a mixed doubles. So I always try to get him involved when there's something like this because he's obviously bringing something else to the court. And so that was a great Kickstarter this year.
You include Dustin Brown, and the highlight reel always gets a little bit better. He's got a few shots which I've never seen any other player pull off.
Yeah. With Dustin, it's fun because it's funny though. I must say, and I think he would not deny this right now if he would be on here. I think when I play him, there's a lot of times where I have some better shots than him, but it's just not seen. That's the problem because he's done it over and over and on the officials. It's just I can't get it done in official matches. It's only against him in exhibitions.
Maybe one day, 2021, I reckon.
You're in the top 100 though, so you've got that. You've always got that to bragging rights. So that's
but he's been there, He's been there.
I know.
He's had a hell of a career, man.
He has. I know. Obviously, we don't want to stray too much away from yourself, though. And if we can get Dustin on ourselves, we would love to speak to him too. I wanted to speak to you about, whilst we can, a couple of the massive wins you had this year. You obviously had some incredible wins. One I wanted to bring up, which was you absolutely blew him off the court, Casper Ruud, who's just been one of the best clay court players probably coming through. And you beat him 6-2, 6-1 in Sardinia. Absolutely destroyed him. What was that match? Did everything just go right in that match?
So I would like to go in two different directions here. One direction is the humble one, and the other one is it's 2-1. So I'm gonna go with the other one first. So it was a tricky court to play. First of all, there's a few bad bounces. The court was smaller, so I don't think he has played on a. I mean, it's smaller. I mean that she didn't have that much space behind the baseline.
Yeah,
I think he's a guy that now he's a little bit more going towards the rougher ways of returning and team ways of Medvedev. That's the guy.
Medvedev as well.
And so he didn't have that, and my kick serve hurt him a lot because it was quite bouncy still, and so yeah, it was a bit windy. It was tricky to play. My kick serve was hurting him on his backhand a lot. I was playing some drop shot. I know his game, and I think actually that his game matches bad against my game when I'm in good form. And because he couldn't really stay back that much to, when he has more time with my kick serve, he can like loop it in and get me involved in a rally. I didn't want that. I just wanted to destroy the game. I was like kick serve, boom, or drop shot. My returns were either miss or going big, and so I think that messed him up a little bit. And 2-1 was a little bit too easy than it actually was, because I think there was a time in the second set, at the beginning or so, where it got close. And I managed to win all the close games, which I didn't the next day against Musetti. So sometimes it goes back to you. But yeah, I just played a good game. I destroyed it a little bit. He didn't have any rhythm, and then sometimes it can look ugly.
Yeah, on the subject of Musetti, obviously we're huge fans of a few of the newcomers really on the tour. Musetti, one of them. You've got Alcaraz Garcia as well, incredible talent. Yeah. What's it like playing these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I played both actually. It's funny. I played Musetti already twice, and Alcaraz, I played him last year, where I didn't know him at all. But this year I've seen him in those Italian challengers. So I've seen both of those guys up close, and I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed in how different they are, but how good they are at what they do already. And obviously Alcaraz is this, this going maybe more the Spanish school, the Rafa, the Ferrer, and I mean he has Ferrer in his corner. So he's very focused. He seems like a hard worker, but he also yes, he's a hard worker, but he also has got this fluidity in his game and this super explosiveness. And you can tell that this guy, he's going to be very solid, and he's going to be very solid to beat, very tough to beat. Whereas Musetti, I feel like he's going to have much more highs and much more lows than Alcaraz, where Alcaraz is more steady. But I mean, I watched Musetti play Wawrinka in Rome. I saw the whole match. I was like, that was something. That was crazy.
And Nishikori as well in the next round.
But that was already I thought, yeah, he's going to beat him.
Yeah, I know. How crazy is that we think that he's just going to take out Nishikori, former world number 5. Crazy.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be interesting to watch, and I'm happy I beat Musetti once this year. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
brilliant achievement. Not many players can say they have beaten him. He's been on fire this year.
Yeah.
And in Italy as well, you beat him.
Yeah. Again, the key to that match was my kick serve. It hurt him on the backhand. Yeah.
No, it was a very good tournament. That one, obviously, you won the Toddy Challenger. We were sort of covering that one on the podcast and giving all the fans updates on that one. Did really well. That was the only set you dropped the whole tournament was against Musetti, and all straight sets.
That was the toughest match in that week for sure.
Yeah, and I bet that
week he was incredible though, because some of the players you played, you've got Cecchinato there, Moroni. Yep. Obviously, these are all Italian guys in Italy, and then the final was Zabata Morales, who's actually an extremely very good player. He's beaten a lot of players this year. I think he won a few tournaments towards the end of the year. What's it like playing him? Is he tricky?
Yeah, I played him twice. No, actually, I played him 3 times already in the last months. I played him. I played him Todi. I played him in Coordinance, and I played him in Paris. So yeah, I've gotten to know his game a little bit. He's a weird player for a Spanish guy because he doesn't have much spins in his game. He's like more of a side-to-side mover, hits the ball or tries to hit the ball a little bit more flat, and he's a fighter. He's you gotta grind it out against him. And in some ways, like in Coordinance, for example, the conditions were really tough. Like the balls weren't bouncing. You could not hit a winner. It was really tough to play him because you need to find ways to get it out of his rhythm. And so against him in Todi, what was good for me was that my ball was bouncing really high, so that hurt him on his backhand. So I could take advantage of that. And in Coordinance, I didn't have that. I didn't have that effect on my ball. So it was much more challenging to win points. So that's why it was such a battle. I actually destroyed a racket after that match. It was cool. I really enjoyed the match because it was just a battle. And then in Paris, obviously it's not clay. It was like a faster hard court. I think I was the better server in that match, and I don't think he was that comfortable on that surface. Yeah, but he played some great weeks this year, and I'm looking forward to what he can do next year because I think he's a tough player to play against when you're not on your best.
I guarantee it. Next year, you two are going to have a lot of exchanges, I think.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I mean, if he gets to if he gets an ATP tour, he can play against me.
Yeah, that's the fit. That's what we like. That confidence.
Fighting talk. It's out now.
Yeah,
I'm already scared in that payback from this. what we really want to know is obviously fantastic year in 2020, the best one. What is the target for 2021? Obviously, we've got to hope that all the tournaments are now going to take place, and we're going to see a bit more of a fluid year of tennis. What's the target for you? Have you got an aim for rankings or? Yeah, I mean, first of all, I got to get healthy, and then my biggest aim is actually to make it to the Olympics somehow. I need to. I know there's a few criteria involved that I need to still fulfill. I think it's top 80. I got to be one of the four singles players in Germany. So it's not entirely up to me, but if I have a good time, I think the cutoff is after French Open. If I have a good time until then and maybe can get to somewhat top 80 or something like that, I have a good chance. That would be a big goal. I wanna be, if it's played, I want to be in the Davis Cup team, which is not easy in Germany, of course. And yeah, I want to play all the main draws in the Grand Slams. I want a few rounds there because I have not won best of 5. And yeah, I want to be in the top 100. I don't know how the tournament calendar will be, so I'm not expecting it to be as full as the recent years, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, well, talking about German tennis, it's actually super exciting. I've got it up here actually, and you've got Zverev, he's number 7 in the world. You've got Struff, 36. Dominic Koepfer, you had a brilliant year as well, 66. Yeah. You've got Kohlschreiber, 98, and then yourself in 5th, 99. So if you wanted to get the top 4, as you say, for the Olympics, it's going to be very tough. You're going to be you and Kohlschreiber maybe battling it out. And then you've also got, who else is there?
Daniel Altmaier.
Stebby as well, Stebby and Altmaier, Oscarotti, just in the wings.
Yeah, there's a few players. I think Germans had a good few months. Altmaier with that French Open run, Otte with a lot of tournaments. So yeah, we're pushing each other a little bit, right? Maybe it's a little bit of that German series that we played just before the restart. I see some good things for German tennis, and hopefully I can be a good part of it.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, we don't want to keep you too long. Obviously, we've had you for about 40 minutes now. But there's one thing that we want to do with each guest that we have on the podcast. It's just like a little game where we give you 2 things to choose from, and then you just have to tell us like a quick fire questions, that type of thing. Is that? Yeah,
it's a bit of fun for sure. But before we do that, though, Ben, there's one thing I do want to say. It's a question we ask every player we've got on, and that is, who is your favorite player to watch on tour right now?
Sure.
Kyrgios.
Hey.
Any reason for that? I think I know the answer, but
entertainment.
Yeah,
definitely. I totally agree with you there. I think he's super entertaining. Yeah, he brings eyes on the sport as well, which is always a positive thing. Even if it's for a negative reason, it's positive that he's bringing more eyes to the sport. But yeah, should we kick off with the game that we call Shot Clock?
Yep.
Okay.
Do I have 28 seconds or 20, whatever it is?
No, we're just going to fire you the questions quickly, and then we'll just you just give us the answer as quick as you can. And if there's anything you don't want to answer, then just say pass.
We need to clarify that. If there's nothing you do want to answer, you don't feel under pressure, just say, and we don't have to answer it. Just say pass or whatever. However, there's nothing too bad. It's all a bit of fun, light-hearted. We'll make a nice cool edit as well. We've got all the different things coming up.
Who do you like better, JG or Ben?
Yeah,
that's what I said to him. I was like, why can't we have that question?
You can have it on there. I'm too scared of getting 0 votes at the end of the series. No, but it's just one of those things. On the last one, though, we said you can just say pass, but I think I had too many beers before we did it, and I forced an answer out of the Gil Gross we had on the last one. So we're not going to do that on this one. I'm going to be nice and fair. So,
all
right, let's kick it off. Let's play the Shot Clock. Time. Right, so the second person on GTL's Shot Clock, and you're going to either get a choice of 2 things, Yannick, or we're just going to ask you a straight question and just give us an answer. So we're going to start off. Backhand, single or double-handed?
Double.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Bayern Munich or Dortmund?
Karlsruhe.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Favorite Grand Slam?
Wimbledon.
Underarm serve, good or bad?
Depends against who, but as a tool in tennis, I like it.
Huh.
Babolat or head?
Sorry?
Babolat or head? The brand?
Head, of course.
Netflix or Amazon?
Netflix.
Something you can't do?
Right now, play basketball.
Your favorite surface?
Well, clay and grass, I would say.
Alcaraz or Musetti?
Pass on that one. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Becker or Stick?
Becker.
Starter or dessert?
Dessert.
BMW or Audi?
Audi.
The first thing what comes into your mind?
A lion.
Line judge or technology?
I don't care.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
Who is the GOAT?
Michael Jordan, I would say.
Yeah, I love that. Brilliant answer. Well done. You've passed the shot clock. How was that?
That was fun.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said lion though.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, maybe it's just that fierceness you've got inside you this year that it's going to take you through. You're inside the top 100 now. Going to see inside
I should have said gorilla.
Yeah, lion was a bit of a strange one, but if you're thinking about lions, it's all good.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say once more, thank you so much, Yannick. You've been an absolute blast to have on the podcast. I think I speak for both of us when we just say what a fantastic year. We've been following you all year. We're going to be following you all of next year. Hopefully we can come to some of your matches if possible.
Yeah, and I think 2020 is going to be a big year for you. Good luck.
Yeah, for sure.
Say hi if you're ever out there.
We will do, mate. You have a fantastic Christmas, and I hope the foot heals up, and have a great New Year too.
Thank you. You too, guys. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, buddy. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.